Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Time with me, Queen Sabrina. We're about to go live here on the TikTok as well. Let's see what we got going here. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. How are we doing this Sunday? Want to give a special shout out to my queen mother. Happy birthday to you. Today, my mother is the wonderful age of 72. Welcome, everybody here on YouTube and on TikTok. We're going to give it a little minute for the people to tap in. Welcome, queens, welcome, kings. Happy Sunday. Hope everyone is doing well this Sunday. Thank you guys for joining in and tapping in, okay? Thank you. Welcome everyone for tuning in with me, Queen Sabrina, this Sunday. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here with me. So I do appreciate that, guys. We're going to get it started in a second here, okay? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Hope everyone is doing well this Sunday. I'm doing well. Hope y'all made y'all Sunday dinner. I did. Did that already, baby. Done and done. Done and done. Welcome, queens. Welcome, queens. Welcome, kings. Thank you, Shaba Shika, for joining. Thank you, Vigilante, for joining. Thank you, Grammy, for joining. Make sure we are sharing the live and liking the live. Welcome. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Let's get it popping. Y'all see my queen in the background. Today is her birthday, baby. She is 72 years young. May she continue to have a blessed birthday today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Make sure we are tapping that screen and liking the live and sharing it as well. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Each and every Sunday, I let you guys know that John Sells and Annie Mae Curry birthed me. The Pueblo del Rio housing projects in Los Angeles, California raised me. And Tennessee State University in Nashville, Tennessee educated me. And so those are the three components that have molded me into the queen that I am today. Okay. So if you don't know me, kings and queens, get to know me. Each and every Sunday, I am here to give you some tips and tricks and hacks on how you can save money on your grocery bill, some little dating tips and tricks, as well as how you can save money when you want to travel. And then at the end, I do a little bit of a celebrity tea time picks. And I pick two people that I would love to have tea with, have a little bit of conversation with, see what's going on, in the mind of that person. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So last week, we talked about groceries. We talked about when you do buy your groceries and you are buying them in bulk. Like I do, I buy my meat in bulk. I only buy when it's buy one, get one free. Okay. When I put my meat up, I put it up in freezer bags, like I explained to you guys last week, to make sure that I am portioning it out what it is that I want to cook. Because you may buy a big old pack of wings, but that may not be necessarily what you want to cook when you freeze that big pack of wings. You may just want to cook out have that package, so you take out what it is that you want to cook at that time and you freeze your food in portions, so that when you are taking it out, you're not unthawing a whole bunch of food. Thank you guys for joining the live. Share the live, like the live. Make sure we are tapping that screen as well, okay? So we talked about portioning also your ground meat, like your ground turkey, your ground beef, already making up those hamburger patties that you may want to make for later on, so that you don't necessarily have to do that when you unthaw them, right? What else did we talk about? We talked about making sure that we are, when we are portioning them, that we are thinking about what it is that we want to cook with that chicken, with that turkey, with that beef, with that ground turkey, okay? So that we already have our meals already planned out. That's what we talked about last week, right? So if you guys do have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, okay? Hey, hey, you joined. Hey, how you doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome, Sasha. Welcome, Marlene Shakes, for joining. Thank you guys for joining the live, liking the live. Thank you, Valerie. Thank you, Miss Nikki. Thank you, Rochelle, for joining the live. So we're gonna get into the topic today, about how we can save money on food and we're not wasting food, right? So it's not always about what we want to eat for that day, but what do we actually have to eat in our house for that day? Because a lot of times we wake and we like, oh, I got a taste for some chicken and waffles. Oh, I got a taste for this. But is that what's in your refrigerator for you to be able to cook? Okay, so I like to do a thing each week, mainly on Saturdays, because Saturdays I don't cook. I do a thing called goulash, where you cook everything and eat everything that's in your refrigerator, meaning like your leftovers and things that you might have in your refrigerator, right? Because oftentimes we have cooked throughout the week, we have leftovers and things like that, and we 9 times out of 10 we don't eat those leftovers, right? So what should we do with those leftovers that we have at the end of the week? Okay. It is called goulash. Thank you, Orlando, for joining. Thank you, Muffy for joining. Make sure we're sharing and liking the live. That is where like you take all your side items, your leftovers, and you just mix and match anything. Okay. You eat anything with anything. Okay. Because at this point, we're trying to just get whatever it is that we have in our refrigerator out. Okay. Now on Saturdays, my boyfriend and my daughter, oh, they be mad because I don't cook. So I take out everything in that refrigerator, say, hey, look, this is what we got. Have at it. Take a meal. Make a meal. I mean, goulash, lunch, goulash, dinner, whatever it is that you're going to put together, that's what you're going to have. Okay. Some examples of that are easy meals to make. Say you do have some leftover taco meat, leftover salmon, leftover baked chicken, or something like that. The easiest meal to make is a salad, and put that protein on top of that salad. Okay. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Nanu, for joining. Thank you, Jared, for joining. That's all you have to do is put that protein on top of that salad. Okay. Um, make things make sense. You don't have to create a whole entire meal every time you want to cook something. Just go in your refrigerator and see what we have that is already made and how we maybe can add something to that, okay? To make a little small little meal, okay? Um, you can also, people sleep on grilled cheese. Okay. I knew I used to make a grilled cheese and tomato soup when I was in undergrad all the time. Now, have we thought about making like a loaded grilled cheese? Like I know, like last week with me making some chili. I had a little bit of that chili left over. So I actually made me a chili cheese, grilled cheese. Put a little bit of that chili in between that bun. I warmed it up first before I put it on the stove, and I had a chili cheese, grilled cheese. Thank you, Key Baby, for joining. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Nubian Queen. Make sure you guys are tapping that screen, liking the live, and sharing it as well. Okay. So yeah, you don't have to make a huge meal every time you want to make a meal. Look in your refrigerator, see what you have you can spare, and have at it. Okay. So if you guys have any questions about that, about how you can make a goulash meal for lunch or for dinner, tap in, let me know, DM me, put it in the comments. Okay. Ask your questions. Okay. Because like I said, baby don't cook on Saturdays. So whatever is in that refrigerator on Saturdays, baby, that's what we gonna come up and eat. Okay. For that day. Now, we're going to move on to the next topic, which everyone likes to talk about, which is dating. Okay. Um, Now, last week we talked about how do we know when we should tell, like, the father of our child or the mother of your child, Kings, if you're no longer with them anymore, when you have moved on and you are in a serious relationship. Okay. When is it time to let them know about your new person, about your new boo, your new bae? Okay. So I particularly said that it really just depends on the agreements that you have with each other. It depends on what you have communicated with each other to say, hey, um, when we either get engaged, when we move in with another person, then we're going to let you know what's going on, right? That, like I told you guys, that didn't happen with me. My father of my child told me at 9 a.m., at 5 p.m., he's getting married. Okay, so that was not, sufficient for me. That was not what we communicated with each other. That is not what we agreed to do. So, of course, I know, you guys should think that that would cause a little bit of confusion, a little bit of conflict when you're learning at 9 a.m. that the father of your child is getting married at 5 p.m. And this woman has already been exposed to your child in so many different ways that you weren't even aware of. So that's what we talked about last week with the dating. I'm going to go ahead and turn this music down just a tad bit here. Um, because some of this stuff that they're saying is just not what I want to hear. Anywho, now topic for today with dating. Okay. Um, do you guys think that it's okay, and should we be comparing and contrasting your last relationship to your present one? Okay. Um, for me, I personally think if that's what you're going to do, then we should be comparing the positives and not the negatives of the relationship. Like, say, for example, your last relationship, there was like little to no communication. It was like pulling teeth when it was talking to him. He had no type of orientation with your family, never wanted to go to any of the family events, just really just didn't want to be involved. He was like borderline disrespectful. He was a heavy drinker. He didn't have any goals, and he just never really just kept the job. Now, when we're in our new relationship, okay, are we then comparing that person and saying, hey, well, this person, they communicate pretty well. They like to go to the family events. They don't have a problem with it. They're a little social. This person is goal oriented. They keep a job. Um, they are, not disrespectful. They know how to, communicate with you in a manner that you don't feel threatened, and things like that. Um, are those the things that we should be comparing and contrasting when we're dating someone? Me personally, thank you, Vanessa Davis, for joining. Thank you, Sean Marie, for joining. Thank you, Lily, for joining. Thank you, David Legal, for joining. Make sure we are sharing the live and liking the live as well. Thank you, Greg Schofield, for joining. Thank you, Brenda. Me personally, I think that we shouldn't be comparing our last relationship with our present relationship, but we should rather be comparing our mental, emotional, and spiritual state that we were in that last relationship versus how you are feeling in this new relationship. I know you hear people sometimes say, like, baby, it don't matter, where I am with you. We could be living in a car homeless with a cup of water. I just want to be with you. Okay. That means that you are loving that person for who they are and where they are, and not for what they can or cannot do for you. And oftentimes we measure the type of relationship that we have and the type of person that we have, and whether or not we are happy by what's going on with the other person, because we want to be able to brag to our friends and family and say, oh yeah, he has a good paying job, he has a car, he does this, he does that, this is that and the third. But how are you feeling in a relationship with that person? Because if all of those things go, if that man loses that good job, if that man loses that nice car that he has, if that man loses his apartment or home that he has, will that man still make you happy? Because we need to decide and decipher, is it the things that the man has that is making you happy to be with him? Or is it the man as a person, as his spirit, as his energy? Is that what is making you happy? Because at the end of the day, any man can acquire a car, can acquire a good paying job, can acquire an apartment, can acquire a mortgage. Okay, things, material things can be acquired, but emotions, how someone makes you feel, how someone treats you, how they speak to you, those are not things that can be acquired. Either they are already in the being of that person or they are not. Like K Michelle said, baby, you can't raise no man, baby. He already gone, baby. What you gonna do? Okay. So you can't raise a man. The man that you have is who you are. Okay. It's who he is. And so if you are with that man or even that woman, nevertheless, for what she has, for what her status is, for what type of job he or she has, then you're with that person for the wrong reason. Because, like they said, marriage is for better or for worse. You don't know when your worst is coming. You don't know when your better is coming. So that's why when they say to love someone unconditionally and to love that person where they are at, okay, it means that you're loving them for who they are as a person, not what they've done or acquired as a person. Because the first thing that I always hear when I hear a woman talk and they say, oh, yeah, I got a good man, the first thing that follows after that, oh, he got a job, he got a car, he got a house, he got this, he got that. Yeah. But what does that man have for you emotionally? What does that man have for you spiritually? Okay. What does that man have with his energy that he is giving you? Because at the end of the day, okay, a man can have all those things: a good job, a nice car, a house, apartment, whatever. Okay. But if he's not treating you like the queen that you are, what good is that good paying job? What good is that nice, luxurious car? What good is that mortgage that he can pay if he's treating you like a peasant and you want to be treated like a queen? Okay. We got to make things make sense sometimes. Make things make sense for your situation, what you have going on. Make sure we're tapping that screen and liking the live and sharing it as well. Thank you, all my queens and queens that are here with me in TikTok land and on YouTube as well. We just got to make sure that we are comparing and contrasting the right things. Saying that, oh, my last man, he didn't do this, but this man got a good job. My last man didn't have a car, but this man do. My last man didn't have an apartment, but this one do. But is the new man giving you the spiritual connection, the emotional support and connection that you need? Because that's what's most important. How are you feeling as a person when you are with this other person? Okay. Because what they bring to the table physically, the assets that they bring to the table, those won't sustain you throughout the relationship. In any divorce, Assets are split, okay? But you ain't your emotions ain't don't get to go with you. Your happiness doesn't get to go with you. So that's what we need to make sure that we understand, you know, what's important about being in a relationship. Is it, my man got a beamer, but when I get home, he beat me. That makes sense to some women, that they would be in a abusive relationship because the man has a good job, he has a nice car, he has goals, but yet he treating you like a peasant. So we got to make things make sense, queens and kings too, because it's some women that are abusive as well. Trust me, it's definitely some women that can be abusive. Okay, so we need to make sure that we are taking care of our mental health, because we often don't think about that. Compare and contrast this last relationship. How was my mental health? In this new relationship, how is my mental health? In my last relationship, how was my emotional being? In this new relationship, how is my emotional being? Okay. So we need to see if we are growing spiritually, emotionally, and mentally in a positive light when you are in your relationships. Relationships are not about being able to brag about the assets that a man has. Oh, my man got a good job. Oh, my man driving Mercedes. Oh, my man, he got a mortgage and he got that going on. But at the same time, is that man really making you happy? Are you just happy to say what your man got? Okay. Check yourself on that, kings and queens. Are we just happy for the status of the person that we with, but are we really happy with that person without that? Take all those things out. Oh, if he didn't have a nice job, if he wasn't able to pay a mortgage, if he didn't have that nice car, would you still be with him or her? That's when you know that you really love that person for who they are and for where they are in their life. Okay, that's where that unconditional love comes in. Thank you, baby Ross. Thank you, Cherry Blossom. Thank you, big guy, for joining. Okay, and if you guys have any comments or opinions of what you think about what I'm saying, hey, let me know. Tap in with a queen, DM me, put it in the comments. Okay, let me know. So, with that being said, um, don't compare the attributes, the assets of what the last person had with your new person. Okay, compare that mental. So we're going to move on to the next topic, which is traveling, right? So we all like to travel. Everybody want to do a vacation, a mecation, a siscation, a homegirlcation, just any type of cation to get anywhere but your own home, okay? Because we like to post and say we here, we there, we on the camel, we on the boat, all of this, that, and the third. Now, last week I talked about how if you want to travel by yourself and it's just yourself, how you can save money with doing that. We talked about, staying at hostels. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with hostels, but these are common living arrangements where you may share a room with complete strangers. They will be either all women or all male. Um, they're traveling singly, like you. And you would have a shared kitchen, a shared bathroom, but the rates are much cheaper. A lot of these hostels can be as low as $25 a night. And these are in countries like Europe, these are in places like the Bahamas, Jamaica, and things like that. But you just have to look for them. And I shared with you last week, it's an app, I believe it's called Hostel Worldwide or something like that, where you can log onto the app, you can find you a hostel where it is that you want to go, and you can find somewhere cheap to stay. I looked on the app, I seen something that's cheap, $15 a night. Now, are these places where you in your accommodations you would be comfortable with staying? It really just depends on you. Okay, what you want to deal with, what you can deal with. Me per se, would I personally do a hostel? mm, I don't know. Maybe if I was about 50. I'm just trying to be on a journey of just 1,000% just about me. I don't give a damn about where I'm staying, what's going on. I'm just trying to go. Then maybe yes. Right now, in the realm of traveling, is that something that I would particularly choose to do with my daughter and my boyfriend? I don't think so. Thank you, Dee, for joining. Thank you, guys. Doris Gray for joining the live and liking the live. So let's get into what we will talk about with traveling today and how. Oh, I also talked about last week about how depending on where you are in the country, when you're booking a flight, rental car, and stuff like that, rates are totally different. And I know this to be a fact because on my way to Barbados last year, I was searching for a rental car in Houston, Texas. My best friend Bean was searching for a rental car in Barbados. She lives in Indiana. We were getting two totally different prices and rates. And I kept telling her, my prices are cheaper. Like, why don't you see the price that I see? And it's crazy that depending on where you are in the world, when you search for prices, they're going to be cheaper. So, a way to get around that is to get a VPN network for your computer so that the search engines do not know where you are. Okay, they cannot put a price on your location. Okay, now, is this something that you want to invest in? I don't know. Maybe you can just call a friend who's in California or in New York and say, hey, girl, look this up for me. What prices are you getting? This is what I'm getting. Okay, but it does go by your location, the prices. Okay. Now, we also talked about when you want to go out to eat. Hey, my mother is on talking about she just woke up. She doesn't know that on TikTok I have her on my background. I have the picture of her with her birthday hat on. So, anywho, um, when you do want to go out to eat, when you are on vacation, just like when you're at home, I don't know where you're at, but most of the times in the States and where I am in Houston, everybody got lunch special. Okay. So when you go out and you're in Europe, in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, go to the places that you want to go eat at lunchtime because the lunch menu is always cheaper. Okay. Make things make sense. Okay. So let's get into it for today's travel hacks, tips, and tricks. Okay, now today we're going to talk about what we can do when we do go to places like Jamaica, the Bahamas, and things like that. We always tend to get there and then just act like we're a whole tourist, right? When we act like a tourist, guess what? They're going to treat us like a tourist and we're going to get tourist prices. Okay. So, what you want to try to do when you go to places is try to blend in. Okay. Act like you a local. Okay. Ask your hotel or a friendly person in that city, okay, that looks friendly because people can be a little sketchy. Ask them, hey, I'm looking for a cheap place to buy something. I'm looking for a cheap place to eat. Where is the nice nightclubs out here? Who has a good happy hour? You got to open up your mouth and ask people because what they say, closed mouth don't get fed. So when you are places network and ask the locals, where can I find this? Where is a good place for this? That's what you want to do. That way you can save your little coins. Okay. Also, okay, when we go on vacation, we like to what? We like to do things. We like to go on excursions. We like to go to attractions. We like to do a lot of things. Okay. So, how are we going to be saving money on that? I told you guys before, look on Groupon. Groupon offers a lot of discounts on different things that you could do, okay, in different cities on food, on attractions, excursions. But also, when you buy something at the last minute, it tends to be cheaper. Okay. So, say for example, there's going to be a show at 5 o'clock. If you wait maybe to 4 o'clock to purchase the tickets, um, or purchase them after the show has already started, maybe you missed about 10 or 15 minutes. You're going to get a cheaper price of that ticket. You may have missed 10 or 15 minutes of the show, but sometimes they give you a half price for just missing 10 to 15 minutes of a show. Now, just imagine wanting to go to the circus and the tickets were $65. The circus started at 5 o'clock. You got there at 5:15 and they only charge you $30 instead of $65. Make it make sense. Thank you, little mama, for joining. Thank you, Danny R, for joining the live on TikTok. Make sure that we are tapping that screen, sharing the live, and liking the live. Okay. Um, so yeah. Um, but the number one thing, okay, before you travel and go anywhere in the world, even if you are just going to in the States, say you live in California and you're just going to San Diego for the weekend because you live in LA, research, see what's going on down there, see if they have any free events, see what is happening before you go. Because that's the main thing. If you already have things planned out, you already know what's going on, okay, before you get there, then you are better prepared to know what you have to pay, what you don't have to pay, okay? Make it make sense, kings and queens, okay? So if you have any questions about that, go ahead and tap in, okay? Put them in the comment section and let me know, okay? If these things are helpful for you. Last but not least, I know I mentioned on a couple of lives ago, it probably could have been maybe a month and a half ago, is to sign up for all of the hotel rewards, the airline rewards program, so that you can start accumulating points when you are flying, when you are checking into hotels. Because once you accumulate so many points, it'll go towards maybe a free one-way ticket or a free round trip ticket, or it'll go towards a free night at a hotel. So that's another way that you can be able to save, is that use and make sure that when you're checking into the airline, into the hotels, hey, I'm using my member or my rewards number because I need my points. Okay. And make sure that you sometimes check and see if they have updated and added your points. Okay. Because guess what? They don't do it all the time because they don't think that you're checking. They're not thinking you're checking your points. So that's one thing that you need to do. Okay. You guys have any questions or comments about that before we move on? Okay. Thank you, Nicole, Miss Cherry, for joining. Thank you, Lanasha, for joining. And so, as we get to the end of our celebrity tea time, as I told you guys, I have my mother in the background. She is turning 72 years young today, July 21st, 1952. A queen was born, okay? Now, during my celebrity tea time, I normally have two people, whether it's a music group, whether it is a rapper, a politician, just whomever in the world that seems to be relevant. I have questions that I would want to ask them. I would love to have tea with them. So today, okay, and I always like to give homage to Wendy Williams because she is the biggest tea spiller. So, how you doing, Wendy? I hope you're doing well. Okay. Today, I am going to do a local celebrity. Okay. This person is a local celebrity in Los Angeles, California. Okay. This person retired from the Los Angeles Housing Authority. Okay. She was known, and is still probably known in the streets of LA for working and helping people off the clock. Okay. With their Section 8. Now, anybody in LA who has received Section 8, probably from the early 2000s, okay, into maybe like 2010 or something like that, or maybe even the late 90s to 2010. This person probably did your Section 8 voucher session, and they let you know exactly what you can and cannot do on Section 8. Okay. This person is my queen mother, Annie Mae Curry Sales. Okay. Most people in the city know her as Miss Curry. Okay. I know her as just mother. That's just what she is to me. Okay. Now, just to give you just a little bit of my mother's accolades, okay? She was raised in the Pueblo del Rio housing project, just like me, myself, and I. Um, while living there, she became a local community activist. She worked as the resident service coordinator for the Pueblo del Rio housing development. And while her matriculation there, she founded the Los Angeles Junior Troopers with Officer Thomas of the Housing Authority. He was a local police officer. Shout out to Officer Thomas. And the Junior Troopers was made and designed to help keep kids out of gangs and off of drugs. Okay. And this junior trooper organization actually spread to other developments within the housing authority, to where they had a junior troopers pledge. We had t-shirts. The police would walk around with us in the community, and they would let us know that this is our community and we need to be involved with what's going on with our community. And that was the purpose of the junior troopers. It was kind of like a neighborhood watch, but for children. Okay. So that was one of the things that she started in the Pueblo del Rio housing projects that spread, like I said, to other housing developments. Okay. Another thing that she actually started was called Red Ribbon Week. Okay. She did Red Ribbon Week during the month of AIDS awareness. So, for a whole entire week, my mother planned events for 7 days of the week. She would decorate the whole entire community with red ribbons. She would decorate the trees. We would wrap red ribbon around the trees. We had a AIDS walk inside of the community. Um, and she did a lot of this to pay homage to her brother who passed from the illness. Okay. Charles Kendall Curry, aka, as my family, we know him as Papa. So a lot of the things that my mom was doing as I was growing up, I didn't really understand her purpose of what she was doing and why she was doing them. Okay. But later, when you become an adult, you understand certain things as to why people do them. Now, um, what else? We're going to move on. I was getting a little teary eyed there, but we're going to keep it going. Um, she also served on the Rebuild LA committee after the 92 riots. Okay. So she helped the city councilmen, help them to come with a solution on how we were going to move forward in a positive way to rebuild the communities in Los Angeles, California. Okay, so she was on that Rebuild LA committee, and shout out to the other committee members who were on that committee. But I do remember my mother being a member of the Rebuild LA committee. Okay, after the 92 riots. Okay, um, while she was a resident service coordinator. Okay, she made sure that she exposed the children and their mothers in the community to things outside of the walls of the Pueblo del Rio projects. Okay, she would take them to seminars, to workshops. She would take them to places that their parents may not have the money to afford to take them, like to Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, um to the skating rink, just to different places that um some of the parents who were a little underserved may not have been able to attain and take their children to those places. She took them to those places. Okay, um and a lot of the children that she helped to expose them to different places, they appreciated that. Now, her ways of getting them there may not have been, what's the word I want to use? What everyone was used to. You know, they always said she had a little humor about her. But a lot of the children, they did appreciate my mother for her exposing them to different areas of the city that they may not have been able to get exposed to. Thank you, K Lavish Beauty, for joining. Um, so, what else? But the most important impact that she has had is by being my mother and being a grandmother, okay, to her, what, 14 grandchildren and great grandchildren. Um, she has shared with them a different side. You know, I share with you guys that my mother did not cook, that she would buy McDonald's, put it on a plate, and have us thinking that that's what we was she was making me and my brother for breakfast, but she wasn't making it. It was McDonald's. Okay, so just a small story I would like to share with y'all, um, is that this is a story during the 92 riots. Okay, um, I thought, I was going to the grocery store, near the projects. I don't know how I got wind or how I heard, but they said, oh, it is free food. I said, oh, okay. I go over there with my robe, my pajamas, and my house shoes. Okay, so as I'm walking inside of the store, I am noticing that it's sprinklers, that it's water on the ground. I'm noticing people running in and out of the store, and I mean just running fast. And at this time, I am, if it's 92, then I am about 9 years old. Okay, so I literally get me a basket, and I am going aisle by aisle in this store, grocery shopping. Getting canned goods, getting cup of noodles, getting ketchup, just getting all type of stuff, going to the freezer, just getting stuff. I mean, shopping. Now, as I'm in there, I do see my uncle Ike, rest in peace, my uncle. He flies in and out. He say, "Hey, girl, what you doing here?" I say, "What you doing here?" So lo and behold, nevertheless, I get home. I put up all of the groceries, okay, in the refrigerator, in the cabinets, and everything. Okay. So my mama gets home. My mother gets home. She says, "Oh, did your daddy go grocery shopping?" I said, "Oh no, I went grocery shopping." She said, "How you go grocery shopping? Where you get this food from?" I said, "Oh, it was free." She said, "Free from where?" Like, and anytime when her voice gets a little high, like something is about to happen. "Free from where?" I said, "From the store. Everybody was getting. They said the food was free." She said, "All right, Aisha, that ain't no free food. You was stealing. I said I wasn't stealing. I said Uncle Ike was in there too. She said you going to jail. I said Uncle Ike was in there. She said and he going to jail too. She said you cannot. Don't you take your tail out there and be taking nothing. These people is gonna go to jail. That's called rioting. That's called looting. Not me. I was thinking the food was free. And baby, we had a cabinet full of it. So I wasn't worried about nothing. But baby, my mother told me I better not take my tail out there when they come talking about something that's free because it ain't nothing free. So baby told me I was going to jail and along with my uncle who stole the food too. But did baby eat that food? Yes, she did. We all ate that food, and my daddy ate it too, and ain't questioned nobody about it. Now, my mama wasn't too happy about it, but nevertheless, that's what happened. Now, now let's move on because baby, I be having notes. Now, my mother did turn her life over to Christ. I want to say it was in 2000s. Can you give me a tip on how I can get something done? This is my mother. She's asking me, talking about some. Can I give her a tip on how I can get something done to her hair and to the hair on her face without going to Texas so her granddaughter can do it? This is what she's asking. That was on her birthday list that she wanted to get her hair waxed. Now, all she got to do is go to a European wax out there or go to the nail shop, and you know that they will wax you at that nail shop, mother. So you know you can go get waxed at that nail shop. But you look up waxing, okay? Now, as I was stating, mother, you turned your life around and gave your life to Christ in 2000, I believe. I believe it was in 2000 is when you gave your life to Christ. Now, since she has done that, she has been writing these morning encouragements. I want to say she does it at least 3 to 4 times a week. I want to say 5, but she says she only does it 3, but I feel like it's about 4 or 5. Now, the main thing is receive the encouragement. Okay, read it and receive it, but just don't ask her where your encouragement is at. Because if you ask her where your encouragement is at, she gonna tell you your encouragement is in your Bible. Open it up and read it, okay? Or she gonna tell you that, baby, even a streetwalker get a break, and today is her break, and that's why you ain't got no encouragement. So that is, what be going on with her them encouragements. Now, she is famous for her red lipstick, as you guys can see in the background. Baby has been wearing this red lipstick my whole entire lives, and I believe my siblings' lives as well. Um, Now that should be a total of about 55 years she's been wearing this red lipstick. Okay. Now, we actually, for her 70th birthday, took her to make her own red lipstick. She done since used that, baby. That lipstick is gone. I actually still have mine that we went to the blend bar, and I have that on today, paying homage to my mother. It is called Agent 70. Okay. So yes, like I said, she's been wearing this her whole entire life. She loves anything with a lipstick on it, with red lips. We had a red lipstick bash for her 69th birthday party. She actually had a red lipstick theme party. Now she is 72 years young, and baby, she is still taking names and kicking ass. Okay. And I remember she once told me, I asked her, like, well, what was it that you wanted to be? And she once told me that she really wanted to be a comedian like Mons Mabley. And I asked her, well, why didn't you do it? She said, because my grandmother told her that comedians don't make money. Boy, was my grandmother wrong, right? Because baby, had my mama been a comedian, maybe she would have had a Netflix special going on. She would have still been to this day doing some specials and stuff. She probably would have still been the longest standing comedian After mom's made believe. You see how sometimes your parents can kind of crush your dreams a little bit? That's why I try to encourage my daughter. And whatever she's saying that she want to do, I'm trying to help her do it, because you never know where it could lead them to. And I honestly believe that my mother would have been a successful comedian had she pursued that industry, had she had the support that she needed to get her goals done. And that's one thing that I can say. My mother has always supported her children in the things that they wanted to do. She has always showed up when we needed her to show up. And she has always given her support. And so, happy birthday to you, Queen Mother. I had to let the people know who you are, who you were, and where you are going. Our goal is, Mother, to get you and your encouragements in a collaboratory book so that you can get them put out. Hopefully, that's something that can be done by your 75th birthday. I know you said you want to have an 80th birthday party. So I guess we will be preparing for that. Um, and here on YouTube talking about some she still don't want to pay. Well, if you don't want to pay, Mother, to get your uh your your face waxed, then you're gonna have to wait until you come here and you can get it done for free. But other than that, are you gonna have to wax yourself? I don't know how to help you. But anywho, now we're gonna see if you can answer these questions. If you gonna type in this chat your answers. Now, if not, it's okay. So, these are the two questions that I would have that I want to ask my mother. Now, mother, why didn't you talk to me? I don't know if you talked to my sister. I don't know if you, my other sisters or my brother, but why? Oh, she says she accepts gifts. So y'all can cash app Auntie Time. Y'all can cash app to give her a gift. And I will give her the money. Y'all can DM me if y'all need more information on the type of gift she would want, and I can send you the address to send her gifts. Okay, she says she's accepting gifts too. But anywho, mother, why didn't you talk to me about sex and the dangers and the preparation of sex? But instead of talking to me about it, mother, you chose to send me to a teen sex seminar. Okay. I was about 11 or 12. I wasn't even having sex. I didn't even know what sex was or any of that. I don't know if it was because we had experienced a teen pregnancy in the household that it scared you, that you needed to let me know at the age of 11 what sex was through a seminar. But why didn't you talk to me about it, mother? Why didn't we have a conversation about sex? We never did. But you sent me to a seminar. And after that seminar, you asked me, what did I learn? Baby, I learned stuff that I didn't even know existed at 11 and 12 at that seminar for teen pregnancy, baby. I didn't know nothing about it. Now, second question, mother, because you seem to be chatting in this, typing in this chat. Second question, if you could experience one thing over again in life, what would it be and why? Why would you want to experience this again, mother? What was so exciting about that experience? So that is who I did my celebrity tea time for today, was my queen mother. I gave you guys a little bit of background about that local celebrity and the impact that she had on her community. But those are my two questions, mother. And when I call you, when I get off this live, you can answer the question as to why you didn't talk to me about sex, but you sent me to a seminar. And what If anything, if you could experience one thing over again in life, what would it be and why? So, everybody out there in TikTok, like my mother said, she is accepting gifts. So, DM me if you would like to send my queen mother, who turned 72 today, a gift. You can always DM me, okay? Thank you, Miss K, for joining. And I appreciate all you kings and queens for hopping on my live each and every Sunday. As I always let you know, I am here each and every Sunday 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so tap in when you have a chance. Okay, and during the week, I also go live during the week. I'll be starting back my little 30-minute consultations, free 30-minute consults. But then I also go live and I talk to you guys about the struggles of parenting a preteen, what struggles that I am currently going through, and just talk about how life has been lifing in general. Okay. Thank you guys for liking the live, Servant Girl. Thank you, Servant Girl, for liking the live. Thank you for joining the live. I appreciate you, kings and queens, for joining. And as always, peace and blessings. I will see you, kings and queens, next Sunday. Okay. And tap in, tell a friend, share a friend, let them know, hey, if you don't know Queen Sabrina, get to know her, because I'm just here trying to drop some jewels on y'all to make y'all life a little bit easier, save y'all a little bit more money, and teach y'all how to be a queen and not a peasant, baby, because ain't nothing wrong with being a queen. Ain't nothing wrong with sitting on your throne, okay? Because, baby, I does it every day. Okay. And I'm just trying to teach y'all how to do it. Okay. So thank you, Miss K, for liking the live. Thank you, Queen. I love it. I love it. I love it. And as each and every Sunday, peace and blessings. And I pray that you guys will continue to have a blessed, prosperous, and productive Sunday. And I pray that you would have a blessed, productive, and prosperous week. And I will see you midweek, and I will see you next Sunday. Peace. Let me see. I want to experience living back in South Central Project. That was my learning ground. That was people love who though that was the people who loved and cared about me. Your another family. So she answered the second question, what would she want to experience again? She would want to experience living back in the South Central Projects, I guess in the Pueblos. She said that was where it was her learning ground, and that was where people who loved and cared about her. It was like another family for her. So she wanted to experience parts of her childhood again. Okay, mother. So we're going to go ahead and end you guys on YouTube as well. See you next Sunday.